Hey there everyone, Chris Cervantez, KALEO Real Estate. I'm here again with Dave Stocks from VIP Mortgage, and we are talking about the HECM for purchase. So in previous videos, we've really unpacked a couple of the details. We talked about the frequently asked questions. We talked about what a HECM for purchase process is and what that entails. And I think the logical next step, and by the way, if you haven't watched those videos, please do yourself a favor, go back, and it'll answer a lot of those questions or touch on a lot of topics that I think a lot of people normally have.
Sure.
But I think in this video, what I'd like to do today is really talk about some commonly, I guess, misconceptions or myths that people have about the process when they hear about a reverse mortgage or reverse purchase. I mean, gosh, that brings up a lot of red flags immediately.
Sure.
So I have a couple of things that I wanted to go over with you, Dave, if that's okay.
Absolutely. And remember, the FHA HECM for purchase, the reverse mortgage is only 1/3 of that. What an actual reverse mortgage means is someone took out a loan and is receiving a payment. That's only 1/3 of what an actual FHA HECM does. So let's get that myth out of the way first.
Got it. So it's just a small aspect of the bigger
Picture
process.
That's right.
Okay. So, the first thing that I have written down here, Dave, is if somebody were to take out a reverse mortgage that the bank actually owns their home. Is that true?
No, it's not. It's just like any other mortgage lien that's on a property. There is some special things to it that obviously have to take place for the mortgage to be put into effect. You have to be a senior and so forth. But it's really no different than any other mortgage on your property. The bank does not own your home.
Got it.
You do as the senior.
Got it. Yeah.
Yes.
If it was like a standard purchase, like if somebody puts down a 3.5% down on a normal loan, I mean, the bank still technically owns 96.5% of the house, right?
The deed, yeah.
Kind of, right?
Yeah.
Kind of. So okay, that makes sense. Now, a huge one, and one that we actually talked about in a previous video briefly, is having, in order to utilize the FHA HECM for purchase, does their current property, the one that they're going to be selling, does that need to be free and clear and paid off completely?
No, you can have a mortgage that exists to do a traditional HECM, or if you're selling your property and buying another. If you're in this particular case, we're talking about FHA HECM for purchase. The property does not have to be paid. You can sell that house just like normal. If you're doing a traditional HECM, no, it does not have to be completely paid off. If you have a larger mortgage that's close to the value of the home, then you probably can't do anything. But on the FHA HECM for purchase, you can have whatever liens you have on the property, and you can pay those off when you sell it.
Got it. So those liens would be paid off
Yes.
through the sale of their home.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, the third myth, going down the list, is that they would be forced out of their home, or they could be forced out of their home. Can you unpack that a little bit?
Yeah, the answer is no. You cannot be forced out of your home. It's just like a regular mortgage. So if you didn't pay your taxes and insurance on the property, the county's not going to be happy, and of course your insurance company is not going to be happy. Also, the lender is not going to be happy because you're not keeping the place insured, which they have a mortgage on. So it's no different than a regular mortgage. If you maintain your taxes and insurance and keep the property up, it's no different than having a regular home loan on the property.
Interesting. So
they're not going to kick you out. FHA does not want your home. They want you to be able to enjoy it with the particular benefits that the FHA HECM provides.
Which would be no payments and enjoying the cash that they have on hand.
That's correct.
So if they were 62 today and they can live in the house until they're 102, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Actually, the guideline says 150 years old. So I believe that's a lifetime, at least since Noah's time or something like that. So
Okay.
I think we're talking lifetime for most people.
Okay, excellent. Now, let's talk on a pretty sensitive topic. This next one talk about the heirs of the estate. That they're not going to get anything. Maybe they're depending on maybe a portion of mom and dad's house. Can you talk about that at all?
Yes. Yeah, I'm more than happy to. In fact, it's a very common discussion. In fact, many times kids are involved in the conversations about these, because if anybody it affects, it is the heirs. The senior, when they're no longer with us, they don't really care what happens with the equity. They would like their kids or their heirs to have as much as possible. But what is left, the equity in the home, passes on to the heirs just like it normally would. You may have a little less because you're not making a monthly payment, so interest accumulates on the loan balance. But let's say you've got a couple kids and you've got a couple $100,000 of equity left in a home. If I was to receive $100,000 from my parents, I would consider it winning the lottery. So there may be a little less, but the equity is definitely passed on to the kids. It is not, or the heirs. It is not sucked up by the government somehow or taken by us as a lender. You literally just pay back the mortgage plus whatever interest is due. The rest goes to the heirs of the family.
Excellent.
You should have a trust, by the way, if you don't. We can talk about that as another subject.
Yeah, okay. You can consult your proper legal
Estate
professional.
Property.
Yeah.
Attorney, yeah.
Okay, now what if, God forbid, they are 62 and they live a long time, but then could they possibly owe more than the home is worth?
Yes. In fact, there are some people that do right now. If you remember Katrina down in Louisiana, their homes, not to laugh about the whole thing, but literally there's houses that are upside down because of what's happened in the area. That could happen here in California. Out of the almost 200 that I've done, I've never had one upside down because California has such excellent gain over time. A lot of people want to live here, so values are always generally going up. And even the down markets we went through, I've never had them be upside down. But the main thing to understand is that these are called non-recourse loans. In other words, the reason they're insured by FHA is that you can never owe more than the value of the property. So even if there was a big earthquake in California, values went way down, and your loan did exceed the value of the property, that's written off. It's literally excused by FHA. That's what the FHA insurance does, is pay off the lender for the difference in the balance of the loan.
Got it.
So, no, you never owe more than the value of the property.
Okay, great.
You cannot be upside down.
Got it. Okay, well, I think that pretty well covers everything that I have. Folks, if you have any specific questions that we maybe haven't talked about in any of the previous episodes, or if we didn't cover it in today's video, please reach out. We'd be more than happy to discuss any of your specific questions or your in particular situation. So again, thanks so much for joining me, Dave.
You're
I appreciate
welcome.
it.
Thanks, Chris.
Bye-bye.